I have Paul Staples here, who's the founder of iHelp. And can you...
One of the founders.
One of the founders of iHelp. Can you introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Paul Staples, and I'm a local real estate broker in Hawaii. I've been involved in real estate about 17 years now. We have just a small boutique type of real estate brokerage. Jeremy here is one of my agents. We have about 4 agents, and we sort of focus in on a lot of private deals. We have a lot of non-disclosure agreements signed with some of our clients. So we do a lot of private deals and a very close-knit type agreements that we have. But we also work with the general public as well. Our real estate company is a really big supporter of iHelp, which we are going to talk about as well. But as a real estate professional here, I really believe in community service. I got into real estate because I enjoy helping people get their first home. After buying my first home at 19 years old, I just got hooked on real estate. And I love to help people like Jeremy, who also love to be in the real estate business, and he's done pretty well this past year in working with the company. So that's what we do. It's a very small company. My wife keeps the books, and we have a few agents out there, and we service our community with a lot of service projects, and we do a lot of home sales locally here.
You have this nonprofit organization called iHelp. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. iHelp, what it stands for is improving health, housing, education, livelihood for the poor in the Philippines. And so we have several things that we do, but right now we have a housing campaign going on, helping to rebuild homes for a lot of people that lost their homes in the recent typhoon. So that's what we're doing right now.
So how did you come up with this idea?
Well, we came up with the idea. I have some partners in Utah, Renee and Jean Doria. They're good friends of our families, and we have potluck every couple months. We have a potluck, and we all have love for the Filipino people. And so one potluck, we decided that we're going to just go over there for one summer and see how we can help some of the homeless people that were there. So that's pretty much what we did.
So you mentioned we have this campaign in the Philippines to build more houses. How did you start this?
Oh, yeah, sure. That's a very good question. We started this campaign when we heard about Typhoon Yolanda that hit the Philippines. Our partner, Renee Doria, and his wife, they have some Boy Scouts that were looking for an eco project to do. So we talked about it, and we agreed that this would be a fantastic Boy Scout eco project to take the boys over there to help build homes for the homeless people there that suffered loss of homes in typhoon. So that's what we did. We organized it, and we got the Boy Scouts involvement. Their parents were all on board with this. They earned money to pay for their trip over there. We got doctors from the Philippines that donated the cargo, shipping of the cargo. And we had a disaster-proof housing product that we were trying to introduce in the Philippines anyway. So it all worked together to get the first home panels over into the Philippines. So a very good operation.
You said you have this disaster-proof materials to build the houses. Can you tell us more about these materials?
Sure. The actual product is called SIPS. Which stands for Structural Engineered Panels, and it's sort of like a big piece of styrofoam with 2 cement boards on it that have been glued together to the styrofoam, and that combination of material makes a very strong block, of panels, and the panels are normally 4x8. 4x12, and even 4x18 maybe, and they can be put together, and just like putting together like a Lego set. Once you put those together, they become a very strong structure. and we make homes out of that.
So what's the difference between SIPs and other construction materials that other houses are built?
Sure, I'll let Jeremy answer that, because Jeremy helps me with this project. I'll let him answer that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of benefits to SIPs. So one is energy savings. Because of the insulation, they've been able to show up to 75% energy savings. It's kind of like if you were to hold a cup of hot cocoa in one hand and ice water in the other hand. If you were using a styrofoam cup, you really wouldn't know which is in which, because the styrofoam is such a great insulator. So that's one thing. Construction cost is another. It's a lot cheaper to put up these panel homes. Just one thing is you don't have to attach drywall or sheetrock to the outside. You know, it's all one piece. You just put it up and done. So you have a good savings cost on that, and especially for tropical places, there's no molding, there's no termite damage, which is huge, because we've seen whole houses have to be redone due to molding or termites or both. They've also shown that the air quality within the house is extremely high. So a lot of benefits for building with the panels, the SIPS panels, as opposed to regular stick-built homes and other systems.
So you said a lot cheaper than other materials. Like how cheaper are these SIPs?
Well, what we're doing right now, Neil, in the Philippines, because we really believe the mission of iHelp is to help the poor in the Philippines, we're looking for locations to build factories that will make these panels. Once that's accomplished, we're looking at places like Manila and Tacloban when a hurricane hit, and we found some land. We're just trying to negotiate right now if we can build one of our factories there. If and when we do that, I should say when, because we know it's going to happen. When we do that, we'll be able to produce the panels for a lot cheaper than lumber costs. And using the labor in the Philippines and stuff like that, we can keep the costs down while providing jobs for the poor people over there. So we're looking at about 4 locations right now to put up our factories. We have a few investors that are very interested in this project as well.
Well, and even with the cost of shipping and whatnot, what did you guys put up that first home with the Boy Scouts in the Philippines for?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. We just, a couple months ago, we had a fantastic Boy Scout project. We invited some Boy Scouts from Utah who were looking for an Eagle project. When they heard about the recent hurricane and how it took away, a lot of homes and killed a lot of people, they asked iHelp if they can do their Eagle project in the Philippines. One of our humanitarian trips that we take over there. So we allowed them to accompany us, and they actually built a home, and they did it in about a day and a half. They built 2 homes in a day and a half. Boy Scouts. So we're very, very impressed with how fast they were able to learn how to use the product, which is the panels that are made, and put them together. Now, if Boy Scouts can do it, sure enough, contractors should not have no problem with putting these SIP homes together.
And wasn't that like $4,000 or something?
Yes, and we built the 2 homes for less than $5,000 for both of the homes.
So it appears that SIPs are really effective when it comes to preventing disasters. But how did you come up with this? How did you find about this materials?
Sure, that's a very good question. We found a gentleman in Alabama who we call the grandfather of the SIPs. His name is Mr. Hoop Haddock, or Horace Haddock is his real name. We found him and we contacted Mr. Haddock and we told him what we wanted to do. He invited us over to Alabama. So we went there, spent 2 days negotiating with him, trying to convince him to come to the Philippines to help with the disaster victims over there. And out of the kindness of his heart, he agreed to pay for his own trip over there and to help us construct the first disaster-proof home in Tacloban where the hurricane hit. So we brought him over there. We helped us with his accommodations, and he brought all his research material and his ingenuity and his motivation, and we're able to use his skills and experience and direct the Boy Scouts, how to build these homes. So we're very fortunate that Mr. Haddock and his sweet wife Ann was there with us. And it took us about a day and a half to build the first 2 homes there. So we're very grateful to Mr. Haddock and his company, which is called ThermoSafe. Now, Mr. Haddock, he was so impressed with the Filipino people, and he agreed to potentially have a contract with us to bring ThermoSafe into the Philippines so we can help thousands of people with this product. So we're still negotiating the details of the contract and agreement, but we're in heart, we're one mind to help the Filipino people with their housing needs right now.
So it's nice that you have Mr. Haddock, and you also have the Boy Scout to help you with this project. But do you have other connections in the Philippines who are willing to help you to finish this project?
Sure, that's another great question, Neil. Another experience we had while we were in the Philippines, we got invited to the home of the Vice President of the Philippines. And he was able to see our research material that Mr. Haddock brought. And we also went to the National Housing Authority of the Philippines, and they were able to see what we were doing. And they're very, very excited about the ThermoSafe product that we're partnering up with Mr. Haddock to bring to the Philippines. Because Mr. Haddock has something most people don't have, because it costs a lot of money to get it and it takes a long time. He has ICC approval. What that means is his product is recognized all over the world and has some of the highest standards for testing. For example, the earthquake test that was done with this product. Most buildings fall down at maybe at 6 or 7 point on the Richter scale measurements. These ThermoSafe buildings that we're putting in the Philippines, the testing went all the way up to 21 on the Richter scale, and it did not affect the building. So we have a disaster-proof building that we can put up in the Philippines for very economically. And also the wind testing that was done by Mr. Haddock. The winds that took down most homes in Tacloban were clocked at 195. This ThermoSafe product that we're bringing to the Philippines, it's not affected even up to 200 miles an hour. So we have a disaster-proof building that we can build very economically for the homeless people in the Philippines. That's why we're very excited to get this approved by the government, which we're about that far from getting it approved right now.
So this sounds like a really nice project that you have. But I'm just wondering, how are you funding this? Like, I know it is somewhat costly to build houses.
Great question, Neil. You know, we're putting a lot of faith into this. We're putting faith that when people see this product go up, how fast they go up, they'll be very interested in investing in the IHO organization. And we're putting together right now a crowdfunding to help provide funds to build more homes, and also we're building a private university in the Philippines as well for the people over there that can't afford education and stuff. Recently, a very well-off developer in the Philippines donated us a piece of land that was worth 2.5 million American dollars when he got wind of what we're trying to do. He has this huge development. We told him we want to put a private university in that development and a hospital. And when he heard that, he immediately got hold of my partners, the Dorias. They had a meeting. They signed the deed to grant the property over to iHelp, and we're going to be building a university there. And also the whole community, we're going to be building it with the ThermoSafe product. So we will have the first disaster-proof community in the world using ThermoSafe product and the iHelp organization to build the school, the hospital, and all the homes there. We estimate about 150 to 190 homes that we're going to build around our university and around the hospital. So it will be a disaster-proof community. We're very excited about that.
And the idea is actually pretty similar to BYU Hawaii, right?
Yes.
Where you have the PCC, BYU, and the community all kind of feeding off of each other and sustaining each other.
I'm very excited about this project that you have, especially that I'm a Filipino. So it's good to know that other people want to help other Filipinos. So I know there will be other Filipinos who would listen to this and watch this video, and they would be interested in helping as well. So how can they volunteer or help in a way for this project to be done eventually?
Sure, great question, another great question. What we're doing right now with iHelp is we're getting students like yourself who have some connections with the Philippines, and we have a lot of sympathizers out there as well. We have a lot of BYU Provo students that are through the Marriott School of Business. They're volunteering their time right now. We have BYU Hawaii students that are volunteering their time. They're helping with spreadsheets. They're putting together the crowdfunding for the school, and there's just a lot of love involved in this project. And we also have the alumni from mostly BYU Hawaii that are willing to make pledges once we get the crowdfunding website completed. If people are very interested right now to learn more, we have newsletters that we just started 2 months ago that we're sending those out. And if people want to know more right away, they can contact us personally. We also have a iHelp website, ihhelpp.org. And they can go to that website to get more information on iHelp and what we're doing. And if they want to make financial pledges, we more than welcome those pledges. And we're doing a lot of things with the public right now with iHelp, and we're getting a lot of recognition from the government. Also, there's a lot of returned missionaries in Utah that are wanting to help, and we just got a lot of support for this project. So we feel that once we get the crowdfunding going, we'll see a mass of people that will either donate or will pledge their labor to help the project to maintain the momentum that it has right now.
So you were talking about donations. So what are you planning on doing with the donations, and how are you going to do it?
Sure, okay. Jeremy and I were discussing this, and Jeremy has some really good ideas about this, and I'll let him talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so we've been thinking about different ways to raise money for this. One was the crowdfunding that we talked about earlier, but also as realtors, we were wondering how we could maybe give back a little bit. And so one thing that we're still coming up with, it's still kind of in development, is foregoing the commissions that we would normally make in return for a donation to iHelp. So we still have to figure out, if there's got to be some sort of minimum amount, and it's probably going to be for designated areas and a certain number of deals, because we still need to make money as people. But we're going to figure out something where people can donate to iHelp. And iHelp is a 501c3, so that'll be a tax-deductible donation. And so yeah, we're still working out the details, but we'll have some sort of deal where people can donate to iHelp in lieu of a commission to us for our services.
Yes, and what they can do, Neil, they can call the office directly at 293-1114, and we'll give them more details. Like Jeremy has mentioned here, we can't do this everywhere and forever, so there's got to be some limitations. But we do want to implement this as soon as possible. So, for example, we may go people that live in the Kaneohe area. This program is available from January to April. So those are the limitations that we're going to put on this program. Hey, I also wanted to mention that we're actually doing the filming right now in a disaster-proof home in Hawaii. This is one of the few homes that is disaster-proof, bulletproof, whatever. But we are selling this property. In fact, we're closing in a few days on this. But it is built with the SIPS concept as well. And it is under construction. It's not done yet. But it is a very, very unique home, one of its kind. And we're bringing this technology to Hawaii to build on a more massive stage, especially those people that have beachfront properties. This is perfect for that because it doesn't rot, mold, wind resistant, hurricane, the whole works. This home will withstand that.